Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third Women Who AI Summit. I am so excited for these next 2 days. And today, on day one, we are all about powerhouse women who have built, who are leading, who are innovating when it comes to AI driven companies. And I could not be more excited to kick off today with the amazing Erica Hanna. Erica, I'm so glad that you're here with us, and I'm so glad that you are kicking us off because I couldn't think of anybody that is more fitting for like the powerhouse, fun, jam-packed first session of the summit.
Well, we'll try to keep it fun, right? I mean, AI is fun. Like it makes life easier and why not?
Yes, yes. AI is fun, and you are just super fun and amazing. And for anybody who doesn't know Erica, Erica is an amazing storyteller. If you look at what is behind her, she's a six-time Emmy winner. She is the AI startup co-founder, creative director, public speaker. I feel like you've done all the things like through some iteration of your life, and that just brings I think that just adds to your wisdom and the amount of expertise that you bring to the table here in the AI space.
Thank you. It's a combination of being interested in everything and also just like a little bit of ADHD, like get bored easily. So that's okay.
And I'm learning a lot about just entrepreneurs, and I'm finding that I feel like you can't not be an entrepreneur if you don't have ADHD, right? Like that's just
That's
part
true.
of
Yep.
everybody who's focused is down doing some focused 9 to 5 out there, right? All and so I feel like that's maybe just a
Mhm.
little bit of a requirement for people who are really launching into the AI space. And you are not new by any means to starting a new business, right? You've had a lot of businesses that you've created under your belt. And I know we're here today to talk about one in particular, but can you share a little bit about your journey as a female CEO and what are some of the different companies and things like that that you've started?
Yeah, for sure. So prior to starting companies, I worked at CBS, Minnesota for about 10 years. And then I did a stint agency realm. And then I ended up directing a shoot with Prince. And he's actually the one who said, "Hey, like you're creating art. Let's have you do your own business." So it was one of those things where I really had imposter syndrome when it came to actually making that leap. And what do you say when Prince is like, "You should do it?" You're like, "Who am I to tell you that I'm not good enough to do it?" Right? Like,
Mhm.
so, yeah, about 10 years ago, I launched Puke Rainbows Creative, and we do video production top to bottom. And so anywhere from producing, directing, editing, shooting, graphic design, all the things. So it's been really, really fun. Some of my clients include Target, Mayo Clinic, Bravo, 3M. So, yeah,
Amazing.
super
That is
fun.
amazing. You know what I just love the most is I love thinking about a company like 3M, who to me seems like very corporate, right? And just very I don't want to say conservative, but if I had to guess, I would feel like just based on their product and their marketing, they're more on the conservative side. I
Sure.
love thinking about like a company like 3M actually hiring a company called Puke Rainbows to come in and to help them with their video, like, that to
Yes,
me is
yes.
just, like, the best part of it all, right?
What's really funny is that one of my crew members the other day when we were on set said to me, "Tish, I don't know what it is, but you always have the most fun shoots. Like your clients are never jerks." And I said, "I think it's by design a little bit because I mean, if people are uptight, like they're gonna be like, no thanks to the
Right.
name, right?" And so even when I do get like companies that seem from the outside that like they're conservative, like when I did the work for Mayo Clinic, um, what they were looking for was somebody to help them kind of
Mhm.
refresh certain parts of their brand. And we were in that video campaign targeting, people ages like 18 to 25, so they needed a new fresh look at things. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's my accountant when I told her the name was like, "Absolutely not. I'm telling you, you can't do that. Like, that is just you will never get clients." And I was like, "Correction, I will never get the clients that I don't want to have."
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. I love that. I love that. And so, with that, right? So you have a company, you're doing video production and things like that. What led you to the brainchild of what is now camcorder AI, which is what we're really here to talk about. And I think it's a game changer. I've been using it since the last time that we talked, and I'm just like, where has this tool been all my life? Like,
Yay! Oh,
yeah,
I'm so happy. I'm gonna, like, cry.
it really. I mean, we'll get into it once people see it, but I would love to hear how you went from puke rainbows to this concept of what you've created over at Camcorder.
Yeah, absolutely. So it actually camcorder began as a solution to a problem that I was having over and over and over, as we often hear. That's
Mhm.
how companies start. And I was brought on board by my now co-founder, Philip, who at the time was my client, to be the creative director for the national push for Black Voters Matter. And we did a national campaign across 18 states during the midterm election, and what happened was they gave us so much footage, it was amazing, right? But we were also on a tight timeline,
Mhm.
and you can't watch 1,000 hours of footage in a week and come up with a whole campaign. And Philip, who is both a marketer and a programmer by nature and already owns another AI company that he started 6 years ago, um, said, "Oh, why don't you just use AI to go through all the videos
Mhm.
and find
Mhm.
the clips with, like, the right prompt about, like, the type of, soundbite you're looking for." And I was like, "Oh, you're so funny, Philip, like, that would work." At the time, 2 years ago, I didn't know anything about AI. I thought
Mhm.
it was, like, robots running around, I don't know. And
Right?
he called me 3 months later, and he said, "Hey, remember when I talked about that tool that would help take all the boring stuff off your plate that you absolutely hate?" Um, yeah, I think I started it, and it's gonna work, and come on board. So, yeah, I'm on board now as a co-founder and act as, the video professional in the group, and
Mhm.
uh, give a lot of input as far as storytelling and prompting, and how everything can integrate, help make people's lives easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And, one of the things that I notice, right? It's just in the world of AI, there's a lot of tools out there that are helping with like the video editing and video clipping and things like that. And I love that anyways, because I'm the one that, probably will take 4 hours to clip like a 35-second part of a video because I'm just not well versed in that. So anything that speeds up that process and allows me to get content out there in a quicker way, I'm all for, right? And we talk a lot about just the amount of AI tools that are out there and available. And I know one of the biggest questions people are always asking is like, what tools do I use? And it was funny because I had a conversation yesterday with a bunch of people. I'm in the middle of a video podcasting challenge, creation challenge. And so I've really been diving into camcorder and like, how can this help me with this challenge? But one of the conversations was how it's so easy to get stuck in the rabbit hole of learning the tool.
Mhm, mhm.
And I'm not going to name any tools, but let's just say there's another tool that I've been paying for. I'm going to
Sure.
say for like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
I'm using it at 1% of what it can be used for.
Mhm.
I recognize that it has a lot of fantastic potential and AI features, but I'm like, do I spend 5 hours learning the tool
Mm,
or do I spend time like building my business, right? Like generating
sure.
content, making video reels, whatever, serving clients, right? Whatever it may be.
Mm,
And so one of the things I noticed about Camcorder is it's the easiest freaking tool to use. Like
yeah.
I literally and you've shown me some iterations along the way. Like this is the second time you've been on the summit, so I've had the honor of being able just to see kind of what's been in the making. And anytime somebody comes up with a new tool, I'm always like, "Oh yeah, how long is that going to take me to
Mhm.
learn?" And yours is just so like, this is what it does. Here are the features. You click the button. I mean, I even started, I feel like this is next level, but I even started like just not using the AI, but just editing it like with the
Yeah.
heat. And I was like, what? All I gotta do is just highlight what I want the clip to say, and there it is. So I love the the simplicity of it,
Yeah.
right? Because it allows me to focus and just get the outcome that I need.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many other tools, and this has just come up so much lately where it's like, "Oh, we added this, and oh, we added that, and oh, you can do this, and there's like 500 things over here, and like now there's this new whatever suite." But it's
Mhm.
like, n who's really in all practicality, right? Like, and we're
Yeah.
talking to mostly women. We're busy, we're spinning all the plates. There's a lot of women who are still thinking about dinner and picking their kids up and trying to do the thing that I was like, finally a tool that I can just get in there. I don't have to spend 5 hours learning. I can get what I need and I can get out. And I can't think of anything more beneficial or more practical in my business than just to have a tool that's like, okay, I can get in, I know how to do it. I can figure it out and I can get out and I have these great 5, 10 video clips that I can now post or let it post for me, right? Let it do part of that social media work. Um, and so I think it's just beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Like, I think it's just really, like you said, it doesn't just solve a pain point, it solves many pain
Yeah.
points when we're talking about using AI software. So
Well,
I don't
yes.
know if you're willing to like maybe give all of our ladies who haven't seen and gentlemen, we know there's some gentlemen out there and we love you gentlemen, right? Um just a glimpse of what the inside looks like and do a quick run through of what I can do because I think it's
Yeah.
a game changer in the world of editing as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what, Kelly, I love that you touched on something that's really important, and that's tool overwhelm, right?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, listen, I've been editing video for 2 decades, and I can jump in Adobe Premiere or After Effects, and I only utilize probably 2% of what it offers because that's all I need to
Mhm.
make a professional video because it's
Mhm.
the story for me, right? And if
Mhm.
the story is good, you don't need a billion transitions and like
Yes.
40,000 like generated images, like whatever.
Yep.
And what we were finding when we interviewed people all summer about what they need is that they were feeling guilty. They're like, I get this tool, I hop in there once, I look at it, I see all these window
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
panes and, like, stuff, and I try it for, like, 30 seconds, and then I'm like, oh, I can't. This is too much, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
have to learn it forever." And then even when you are learning it, you're like, "Oh, I feel bad because 'cause I'm probably not doing it right because there's
Yes.
so much other stuff here that I feel like I'm supposed to be learning." I feel like, especially as women, like,
Ah,
we kind of are hard on ourselves, right?
um,
Like, why am I not perfect at whatever this is, like, that I'm using? So
you know, I love that you're bringing that up because I'm thinking and I'm literally like, yes, like how many of us feel that way? Where or we feel bad, we feel guilty, or we feel like incompetent because we have a tool that does 100 things and we're using 5 of those things,
yeah,
right? And I think as women, we want to be resourceful. And so there's definitely this awareness of, oh, I'm not using 90% of what it can do. But at the same time, if we think about it, especially when it comes to like leaning in, like harnessing AI, like stepping into like a space that's unknown, we don't need tools that make us feel bad.
right?
Like,
No. Oh my gosh. Amen.
I mean, like women are great at just making themselves feel bad because
We do that enough.
like we're hard on ourselves anyways.
Yeah.
We need tools that are more empowering, that make us feel like champions at the end of the day, not tools that, make us walk away and go, I don't really know how to use all the tools, or, oh, I probably didn't do that correctly. Or, oh my God, I just wasted so much time trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I still didn't do the thing, right? And that's one of my recent stories is I was just in this tool. I think I spent 2.5 hours like fuddling around. And then I was like, shoot, I have to go pick up my kids. And at the end of the day, I was like, I still didn't have the product
that you
that I
wanted.
wanted to create with that tool. And then I felt
Mm,
even worse because I just spent 2.5 hours like doing nothing. Right.
exactly. Yeah. And
And
I said to I said
yeah.
to Philip as we were developing this, I said, what I want is people to be able to hop in, do something within the first half hour
Yes.
or even less and get a quick win. So
Yes.
you like boost your own confidence and that increases the chances of you coming back and being able to do it again, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is stuff like the things that this tool does, which I'll hop in and show, are things that obviously I've been doing for a long time as a video editor, and I usually offer as like, oh, an add-on social media package to like your video. But here's the thing, a lot of my clients don't have the budget to do that add-on, but they
Mhm.
still need social media stuff,
Yeah.
right? They just so it's like, okay, how about we'll just give you this tool that you can put in the sweat equity and get the stuff still. Like,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's also a little bit with the quick win stuff. I know that I've showed you a couple other tools that are to come with Camcorder as a whole. Because for those of you watching, Camcorder is our umbrella brand, and then we have individual products underneath that brand. A little bit like Adobe, I would say. You know how
Mhm.
Adobe has
Mhm.
different products, but we wanted to make sure that that first one was a quick win for everybody, and
Mhm.
that hey, if you need other more advanced stuff, we're gonna have it, but we wanna show you that we're thinking about you in the first place. You know? Like
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
so, yeah. Well, let's take a look at our first product, which is
Okay.
Catapult. Um, this product the beta just launched, about 6 months ago, and have some exciting news actually that I don't think you know this yet. Um, but we were just named one of the top content tools by
Amazing.
Anderson Horowitz,
Okay.
alongside these huge brands. Like literally our logo is right next to on their list, like next to CapCut, next to V, next to Kapwing. And we're like, awesome. Like, because these people are funded for tens of millions of dollars, right?
Mhm.
And like,
Mhm.
we're just like a little startup that could. So we're really pumped. Anyway,
Congratulations. I love that.
thank you.
And for everybody watching, when you shared just like a few weeks ago when we connected, I was like, how are you not screaming about this from the rooftop? And you were like, I know, right? So that's a huge, I mean, that just speaks leaps and bounds to me because I know we've had that conversation around like, why does everybody not know about that? But clearly the right person has been noticing and,
Yeah,
so that is amazing and that's congratulations. So thank you.
thank you. It's a nice little boost as we start our first round of fundraising. So
Yes,
we're pretty excited.
am amazing.
Yay! Okay, so let me share my screen here really quick. I'm going to show you our first tool, which is called Catapult. And we named it Catapult because we're basically going to be showing you how to take long form clips and boom, launch them into the social media space. Make it a lot easier for you, right? So let's say you've already registered for our platform. Yay.
Mhm,
And when you open it up, you're going to have this project file. You will have one video when you open it up, which is like a tutorial video from me. It's way down here because I have a bunch of projects. So you'll be able to watch the tutorial video. So no worries if this is overwhelming. And by the way, we do have a free tier that you get an hour's worth of upload a month. So don't stress out if you aren't taking notes. It's not a big deal. And it's pretty easy anyway. So basically, what we're doing here is we are allowing you to take a long form content and clip it down. We say automatically with AI because
mhm.
why not use that term? It's very so here we go. Let's say
You need to like trademark that. Automatic,
right? Isn't it
automagic.
cute? It's
Yes.
so cute.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? I love it. So let's just take, okay, let's see. We have this clip of Black Voters Matter. They're speaking, at an engagement they did. The first thing, the easiest thing that you can do if you want to just use the AI to do it for you is you hit this button that says clip. If you hit edit, you'll be editing manually, and I'll walk you through that as well. But you hit clip, and it's going to go depending on your internet speed. Here we go. All right. So done. It took this long speech that they did, and on the right-hand side here is the transcript of the bite that our AI chose. We have integrated into our AI how to find compelling bites, which is mind-blowing to me, and it'll transcribe it. This also works in more than 20 languages, so accessibility is key. It's pulled a few different bites for us, and it's also already written your social media copy here. Um, the nice thing about this is that the social media copy is going to kind of vary a little bit. And you're also going to be able to preview it in all the different main social media channels. And your copy should change just a little bit with each channel because our prompts are different with each. So, for instance, if I wanted to say, okay, well, what would you give me for Facebook? Okay, cool. So the copy changed just a little bit. What about Instagram, like a reel? Okay, cool. Yep. Copy changed. Awesome. A YouTube short. Yep, definitely. They put in little emojis. What if we want to be on LinkedIn? Yep, we made this a lot more serious in nature because we understand LinkedIn. The nice thing about having two marketers by nature, like a storyteller and a marketer, is that
Mhm.
we're doing the prompts, right? Like we've lived in these areas for a long time. So then you don't have to overthink it yourself.
And where did you
Yeah.
come up with the amount of time, right? So all of the clips it's generating is between that, it seems like that 22-ish to 30-second-ish mark. So
Yeah.
what's the logic behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Philip's other company that he owns is called Outbox, and he actually analyzes videos and watch time with AI. So he already has all that information at his fingertips. And then my storytelling background, I know where kind of drop offs happen as well. And that
Mhm,
seems to be a sweet spot on social media, especially since the pandemic, when our attention spans maybe have waned a little bit since we're
mhm.
used to TikTok and that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's where it is. And
Love it.
the nice thing about the bites is that what our AI does is it looks for unique words paired together. So
Mhm,
that way you're not going to get just like a generic bite that just says like out of context. It just says this is great, which would
mhm,
need tons of context. So
mhm.
yeah, it's something specific to your brain. Yeah. So then let me go back and show you how to do stuff. Well, actually, so if we want to finish this process and just use this, let's say we want to use this one, then when we just hit edit and there's no timeline, that's the best part about it, right? Because timelines can be confusing.
Yes.
So this is the byte that it chose, and all we're going to have to do at the very most simple, if we all we want is just this byte, is highlight it, and then we're just going to say clip, and that right down here is exporting. Nice and easy. If we want to add some other things to make it a little fancy, make it our own branding, we can. Here I already have subtitles chosen, so that's already popped up for us. I love our transcription. That was one of the biggest complaints I had when we were building this. I said I use Adobe for transcription, and I have to spend hours fixing the
Mhm.
transcription, and it drives me nuts. It's like, why am I even using this automatic tool? It would have been faster if I just type it out, you know?
Yes.
So, it's super accurate. I love it. And then you can go in here and change if you want it bold, if you want to change the font. And the nice thing is about us being a tiny little startup right now is if you have custom fonts for your brand, literally send me an email and we'll put it in for you,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
no big deal. And you can change, the colors of the text, the color of the highlight, and all that stuff. You can also add your logo. Really easy to do. You just upload it like you would any other thing. And then you can also what we would call an end card. So if you have a little movie that's an animation at the end that you've already created, you want to brand all your stuff the same. That's great. This up here, aspect ratio, was actually the first thing that I asked for
Okay.
because exporting social media clips for all the different platforms,
Mhm.
I felt like I was just looking up, "Oh, what's the dimension for that one again? What's the dimension for this one again?" I'm like, "It's just vertical video, a square video, and regular HD video usually, like, it'll work?"
Right.
So he's like, "Okay, well, we'll just make it a box that people can click." So you could make it a square, make it vertical video, and if you wanna crop it in so it's full frame, then you can do that as well and just recenter your people however you want
Awesome.
it to be. Yeah, and then we also have ChatGPT built right in here, so that if you want to, you can do all the things, right? You could copy and paste this into ChatGPT and ask it to, translate this text to Spanish, and it will do it right away for you. So if you want to, um, you know, generate that, and there you go. Like I said, 20%
Amazing.
into that's kind of fun. Yeah, and actually, ooh, you'll be the first ones to know. One of the next things that we are integrating, I'm very excited for, is that it's going to be able to put subtitles on that are in a different language. So,
Oh,
like they're speaking in English here. If we wanted subtitles in Korean, like it even does Korean, no problem. So if you are a global company, or even just, speaking to all the different cultures in the US, it's a great thing to have to help with accessibility.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, the other way that you can do it manually would be to, let's say, hey, I'm going to edit this clip of this is my co-founder Philip. So I'm just going to hit edit, and the same exact platform is going to pop up. This is his video. It was kind of a short video, and same thing. Like you just grab and drag whatever sentence you want and hit clip. Really easy, and then it'll export for you. So yeah.
So easy.
It's so easy. We're like, "Let's make it like Microsoft Word." Like, 'cause
It's
everybody knows
so
how to use that.
I mean, it's so good and you're right because I think unless you are like actually in video production, this is exactly what we need, right? It's what we need. There's not like such an overwhelming amount of features that we actually can't find, right? What we're trying to do. I know as, you guys evolve, more and more features are going to become available, but I really like that you have recognized and that you've really considered like what does the average person who just wants to do some video clips need? Because, to your point, for people who are really into the production and doing the fancy things, there's Adobe, right? There's Adobe, right? There's all those other tools that are out there. Um,
That are $1 billion. Like, for real, you know?
Totally.
I mean, the nice thing
Yeah.
about this too is for a different use case would be, I have clients that they'll say to me, "My budget's super tight." So I could say to them, "Okay, well, instead of me taking 10 hours to go through the 5 hours of video that we shot the other day. How about this? You can go through them with camcorder. It'll transcribe it for you. And then you can export the 10 clips that you like from it that you want in your final video for your gala or whatever.
Mhm.
And that way you know you're getting exactly what you want. And so they can just export clip by clip and put them in a Dropbox for me and say, there, those are the ones I want for sure. And then it's less back and forth, less like,
Yeah.
like most editors are sitting there going, I don't know what this client wants anyway, like
Mhm.
so yeah, it just makes the process a lot more streamlined.
Well, and hello, like the fact that you are like, man, this is why, like, I feel like the genius is that not only have you created a tool because you had a pain point and you've recognized that there's a lot of people out there with the same pain point, but I love that now this tool is also helping you solve problems within your own business,
right?
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like to be able to now have this too for your clients to say like, well, I can cut out, billing you 10 hours because you can use my tool and then it's just a lot easier.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
And to me,
Um,
it seems like high touch. Like, to me, it seems like if you were like, "Kelley, go in, use this tool." You pick the clips that you want in the video versus you picking them, and then it comes back and I'm like, "Oh god, I thought there was this good clip. I wish that had made it in there."
right?
Right? It's just genius all around. So I
Well,
just,
thank
like I
you.
said, I've been playing with it. I love it. I hate making video clips. There's nothing more outside of, like, having to think of what's for dinner, there's nothing more that I don't like to do besides video clipping because it just has always been something that I've stumbled over for whatever reason, and this for me has been like, "Oh my god, finally," like, um, and it
Well,
makes me feel
and for
successful, I
yeah,
just feel
yeah,
like finally, everyone and their brothers are out there going, "Oh, I just, take a video and I make I clip it," and I'm like, "Why does that take me so long? Why does it seem so easy for everybody else?" And yeah, I was like, "Finally, there's just a tool that just makes it super simple."
good. And the thing is too, is video is expensive. Like if you
Yes.
wanna do real professional video, it is spendy.
Mhm.
And, um, Philip and I are both very honest with people that are looking at potentially investing in us or that we have as clients in saying, listen, we want to make sure and do this for you as inexpensive as possible. We're not
Mm.
looking to gouge anyone. You know, I grew up super dirt poor in rural Iowa, and he came over when he was 12 as a refugee, a Jewish refugee from
Oh,
Russia. So it's like we both have grown up very poor and keep looking at like, oh, accessibility is so important. Like,
mhm,
why
mhm.
not leverage and democratize video so that we can
Yeah.
like even the playing field, you know? So
Yeah, it's so true, and so thank you for
yeah,
this little behind the scenes sneak peek of what Catapult can do.
yeah. You
I
want to
I
see a sneak peek of the other one
Yes.
really quick? Okay. I know you've seen it, but I wasn't sure
Yeah,
if like okay.
let's show.
So this is actually called Imagine. It's a script generator by Camcorder AI. Again, this came about again as a pain point because when I would write my scripts one way, Philip would write the scripts the other way, and they did not gel, and it would take us weeks to go back and forth
Mm,
together.
mhm.
So we said, hey, let's build a platform together that makes it automagic because we love that word. So let's look at this. Let's go. We want an ad. We want it to be 30 seconds long. Let's say it's going to be a beauty launch. Yeah, perfect. Like it's a product launch for whatever. You can type in whatever the product is that you want. And then we're going to do generate video script. Now, this is going to take a little bit of time, a little bit more time than the other one. But in comparison to how much time it usually takes,
Oh,
which is like
for
days,
sure. Yes.
it's wild. So, it's actually using, our storytelling formula that I teach in a lot of workshops and, creating professional and so it's going to have the set direction here or whatever the image is if you're using stock image. And then it's a voiceover here. And then you're actually going to get the AI voiceover so you can listen to it and see what it feels like. And then the nice thing about that is eventually, and we're getting close, what we plan to do with this platform is instead of having it generate only images over here from Stable Diffusion, because that's what it's doing right now. That's what it's thinking about, trying to get some accurate images. It will actually be pulling from your own content
Mhm.
library, which
Wow.
it just makes me so excited because how many times have we shot stuff and we have hours and hours of video from events and webinars and
Yes.
whatever it is. And I mean, everybody watching it, professional women, it's like we speak all the time. We're on panels and all that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
then it just sits there and we don't reuse it and we don't promote ourselves or our companies or the cause that we're working for. And so
Yeah.
much easier. So
Yeah.
what it's going to do then is pull from, um, the existing images and video and interviews that you have in a different product from us. That'll be, a content management system, which I'm really excited about.
I love that.
Yeah. So, while we're waiting for this last one, I just want to kind of talk about a few other things coming from Camcorder. We also have a recording that's coming that will have a spot actually to put your release waiver. So if you're recording people at
Oh.
an event,
Mhm.
you'll have it right there. They can just sign it right on your form and you don't have to carry around a freaking stack
Yes.
of legal paperwork. We're also hoping to integrate some kind of AI like a prompter into that as well. Like
Okay.
Sure. And then we also have a generative studio coming as well, which will be great for people who want to create a little bit more complex edits with
Mhm.
assets they have. And that actually is going to have the capability to just listen to what you say to it. So, how many times you've been editing something and you just go, "I just want you to fade out for
Yes.
2 seconds," and that's literally all you're going to have to do is that camcorder. I want you to fade out for 2 seconds. So really excited about that. But okay, so this one's still looking, but basically,
Here we go.
yeah, in a world where your skin thirsts for nourishment, here we go. And yeah, so it did a pretty good job of just generating some images that make sense for a product there. And you can use the same functionality for your brand, for a conference that you want to promote, Kelly,
Yes.
for a workshop that you're promoting
Mhm.
for your company, whatever. So Um,
I
yeah,
love
this
it.
will be launching soon.
So do you envision, like, in the future of camcorder, do you envision becoming like the Adobe suite where it's just like all of these pieces, under camcorder that people can use one at a time, they can use all of them. I mean, I definitely see the strategy and the logic in
Mhm.
what you guys are building out, like
Yeah.
recognizing that they're super valuable as a single tool, but
Yeah.
also recognizing that none of them like overlap, right? So
Mhm.
when using them together,
Yep.
you really have this well, it's like you have that big tool that does 500,000 things that none of us can figure out how to learn or leverage them because it's
Sure.
so, they're so complex. But now you've got, and this is like singing to my heart because you know that I'm all about like micro content and micro courses and like things that are very niche and specific and like to the point. And I feel like you're developing these like micro tools that are
Yeah.
just, like, specific. This is what it does. It does the thing, and, we can walk away feeling like a hero because we did the thing, but when you combine all of them together, like, you actually have a very comprehensive set of tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that's nice about yeah, so yes, to answer your question, yes, it'll be much like an Adobe setup, right, where it's individual micro tools. But I think the difference is that we aren't we aren't necessarily looking to appeal to like the mass market,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
Um, we are specifically folks who live in the marketing storytelling space and want to make it easier for people to even the playing field in businesses so that everyone can tell their story and everyone can market themselves.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for giving us all of these behind the scenes and these exclusive sneak peeks, and I would love if you could just leave us. So there's probably a lot of people that are watching this session. They're thinking exactly what I thought when I first saw it. Like, finally, there's something easy that I can use to just create these like video clips quickly so that I'm getting this short form content out there and I'm not spending hours doing it. When it comes to like, where should they start? Right. So if people are like, now I have the tool, like, what are the best, what should I start clipping? Like, what videos should I be looking for? What types of videos, what content, what tips can you give them?
Absolutely. I think about things that you've been involved with that provide value to people. And that could look like, hey, you're recording your podcast on video this instead and use it everywhere then, right? It's not just
Mhm.
audio, you're on camera. It could look like you're, I think we do Zoom meetings all the time
Yeah.
that are so productive and have great nuggets. And I actually had somebody the other day who was on Zoom with me and she said, hey, wait, can we talk about that one more time? Because I want to put that on my LinkedIn because that
Mhm.
was genius what we just decided. I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, let's do it. So just be looking for those opportunities all the time. And the other place where I think it's really going to be helpful for people are testimonial videos, especially for coaches and educators and anyone who's selling anything, selling their own brand, right?
Mhm.
Because inevitably, I have done testimonial videos for a billion people, and you can tell someone, "I just need 2 sentences," and they will give you 5 minutes of statement
Right.
because
Right.
nobody has perspective on or context of, like, what
Mm.
2 sentences actually is when you're talking.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, so webinars, testimonials, all the things. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Erica. Like, this was, again, so valuable. I am just in love with Catapult. If you guys haven't tried it yet, and this is new to you, part of your free gift is being registered for the Women Who AI Summit is that free trial to
Oh,
try Catapult. So you can all get in there and you can start playing around with it. I know you'll all find it just as easy as I did. And so, Erica, you have just like empowered hundreds of women to get even more content, valuable content out there, right? So that they can be seen and so that they can show up. And I think that's the point, right? The point is like, how can we just make it easy for people to get their value out there and just like impact others? And why are we getting bogged down and not actually able to do that? So this
mhm.
is um, it's amazing, it's empowering, it's super easy. Thank you for being with us. I cannot wait
Yeah.
for all of your other tools to come out. I know I'm going to love them as much as I've loved this one.
Yay.
And yeah, yeah. And thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being just such an inspiration. I know that one of the things that I picked up from this session is that you spoke about how you just had this idea, right? Because you had a pain point. You knew nothing about AI, like you had no tech
Yeah.
background. And that seems to be like a big theme that we're seeing with a lot of these, female CEOs that we've been interviewing for today. It's just this recognition of like, forget that imposter syndrome of like, who am I? I'm not a techie. I'm not a coder. I don't know AI. Like, if you have this vision of a solution, like it really can come to reality. And that's so much the story behind a lot of the tools that we're seing today. So, you know,
Well, and it's
that.
like women are problem solvers, and this is a revolution, right? And what is a revolution without women?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we gotta get it done.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Erica. Thanks for kicking us off on this first session of day one of the Women Who AI Summit. And we'll see you inside the next session.
Thanks, Kelly.